Hey there, welcome back once again. It is time for the Golden Age of DC Comics 365 Days, where I take this beloved hardcover coffee table book given to me about 2 decades ago by one of my best friends, and it's been surfing my coffee table ever since. And what goes better with a coffee table book and coffee table talk? We'll pull up a chair to the coffee table and bring a cuppa. I got some freshly brewed Guatemalan huevo tenego. Look at that. Wow. Oh, that's good. Thank you so much for tuning in. You're the most important part of this program. Seriously, this conversation we're having right now, I'm taking this 365 days book for its intended purpose. It's a page a day. I open up to today's day. It's October 1st. Happy October. Yeah, we're in the Halloween season. I open up to today's page. We look at some art from an antediluvian age. We're going to read the blurb, and then we're going to talk about comic books, and we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. Let's see. The Golden Age of DC Comics runs between 1955 and 1938 and 1955. The Silver Age begins in 1956 until 1970. The Bronze Age, I'm a Bronze Age baby, from 1970 until 1985. And the Copper Age begins in 1985. I get the standards and definitions from the glossary of the most current edition of the Overstreet Comic Book Price Guide. Yep, I find that to be fair, equitable, just, in order to define the many ages of comic books. I also will suggest these two books, Understanding Comics, The Invisible Art by Scott McCloud, and How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way by Stan Lee and John Buscema. These are as comic book readers, we're always on the outside looking in on these artifacts and stories. Well, this is about the insider looking outward. And these are very, very good tools and a great way to spend time learning more and more about our beloved little genre here. Alrighty. And this is a 2004 Abrams press publication, written and curated by Chip Kidd, Geoff Spear, and Les Daniels. There are links in the description to the Amazon pages for all 4 of these publications. Get your own copy, play along at home. This makes a great gift for a geek. I know. Let's get to it. It's October 1st. I hope you're doing awesome. I hope that you're clobbering your problems and not being clobbered by them. Over and out. Yep, it's Batman. My friends Batman and Robin. I love Batman and Robin. This is pencils by Jim Mooney, inks by Ray Burnley, from Batman number 41, July of 1947. Let's look at the art. It's spacey. Look at it. And it's probably one of Batman's first forays into science fiction. Yes, and we're gonna talk about that today a bit, where Batman and sci-fi intersect. Early Batman adventures were mostly set in a dark urban milieu, and if they had their bizarre elements, they generally avoided outright fantasy. It was not until around 1960 that the Caped Crusader became wrapped up in a series of stories about visiting aliens and weird transformations. Consequently, this 1947 offering is a rare early science fiction tale that also anticipates a future of more science fiction stories to come. In Batman Interplanetary Policeman, the hero is summoned to Mars by scientist Thundran, who seeks help in defeating the renegade researcher Saxgola. Dun 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 dun. There we go. Mars to Batman, come in, Batman. Ain't that cool? Yeah. Batman actually had a lot of sci-fi adventures in the early Silver Age, and the early to mid Silver Age. It was a weird time for Batman. It was a bat renaissance, one could say. They just needed to tell stories and sell magazines to kids and get their 12 cents monthly, you know? Brightly colored and silly stories. And, you know, it wasn't the... it wasn't thought as it was today. Today we take these things way too seriously. I mean that nicely. I mean, and observationally too. And I'm a huge fan. You know this. You are too. If you're here when we're talking about comic books right now, I'm not belittling any of our or marginalizing any of our views, saying that we're taking it. We do take this too seriously at times. And I'm the first to admit that. And I'm the first also to step back and give myself some perspective and being like, okay, we're talking, you know, this isn't an actual fight, you know, and comes to a point where it diminishes the experience with all the infighting, and it certainly has. From my point of view, I've had a waxing and waning love affair with comic books for years. I take breaks, honestly, for years on end. One of the first lapses I took, a first sabbatical or hiatus I took, I remember was in the mid-90s, right around the implosion and the speculator implosion. I remember distinctly not buying X-Men Onslaught. I had enough. I mean, it was fine for a while, and that was just, it was like, I don't like where this is going. And over on DC, you know, you had Nightfall and Death of Superman, and so you had all these, you had this next generation thing going on in DC Comics that it wasn't, you know, it was what it was. It was, and so I took a break for at least 5 or 6 years. I'm coming off of another break right now. If it wasn't for the gang at Thinking Critical, Wesson and the panels, I would not be buying new comic books. I'm buying new comic books. I just, you know, I bought 3 new comic books this week. They're brand new off the shelf. I mean, well, this is from 2 weeks ago, but that's still a new comic. But this is off this week's shelf. I mean, it's all DC. I'm not going to buy Marvel. You know, Marvel is just such a disappointment. You know, I don't want to get into this on this show. This show is about other stuff. This show is about loving what we love. And you can show that by showing up to the comic book store and buying some funny books too. I'm so happy to be to have a reason to go back to the local comic book store and spend money there. And these are really decent DC superhero comic books. This is a great, this is a good Superman story. There's no distractions, no preachiness. This is escapism. This is a good Superman story. This is, same goes for The Flash. And it's a tie-in to an event, the stupid Dark Crisis. But guess what? This has all the superhero moments that I've come to expect to love in a Flash comic book. I'm loving it. And also, like my friend Gray at Wakazashi's Tea House, he suggested Sergeant Rock, written by Bruce Campbell, the actor of Ash in the Evil Dead, and also fabulous art by Eduardo Risso. I grew up reading Sergeant Rock and the 1970s DC and Marvel War comics. Those were awesome. But yeah, get back to Batman and sci-fi for a second. One of the best uses of sci-fi in Batman for me that came back recently was something called the Batman of Zurinar. Okay, the Batman of, I'm reading this from the wiki. The Batman of Zurinar is a fictional character in the DC Comics universe. In the Silver Age story, the character is an alien named Tlano from the planet Zurinar, who decides to become a version of Batman for his own planet. But this is the Batman, the Batman of Zurinar that I'm most fond of is because I remember all this the Silver Age stuff just by growing up with having comic books all around me at all times. You know, you saw the Batman of Zurinar peripherally. I mean, I didn't know like the story too much, but also like the Rainbow Batman and also the original Batwoman and the original Batgirl. You know, Let me wet my whistle. Oh, yeah. Wow. This was a while ago now. 25 years, huh? Almost 25 years. When Grant Morrison took over the Batman series in September 2006, they began referencing classic moments from the Batman's career, including a version of Batmite, and the references of Zurinar were in the graffiti all over Gotham. Something was going on. It was like the Black Glove, which was a crime organization that was after Batman, and so they were systematically trying to break down Batman, and even to the point of using weaponized street grade heroin and giving him an emotional breakdown to where they destroyed him. But what they did not count on, that Bruce Wayne has a contingency for everything. Seriously, and that if Batman's will and psyche were ever to be broken, that he had a backup personality of the Batman of Zurinar, and it was a survival mode, and like or a recovery disc or something. It's just like Batman was able to fabricate a mask, a cowl, and a cape, an outfit, and a utility belt out of trash. So it was like this really, going back to the urban thing as well, almost like this homeless Batman, and it would be clown-like if it wasn't for the fact that neon lights illuminate all of Gotham, and so the colors of yellow, red, and purple actually blend in plain sight, whereas his classic costume blends in with the shadows. And so the Batman of Zurinar was this. It was an outrageous, over-the-top survival mode Batman. And I had a Lego phase. Could you believe me? I mean, look at all these tchotchkes. I had a Lego phase starting in 2015. My mom got me a Force Awakens Millennium Falcon. That was really awesome, and I had so much fun putting that together. That I got a Batman Batcave, the Batman 66 Adam West Batcave. It was pricey and it was worth every brick, but I pimped it out too. I bought a giant penny for it that was in scale, the Joker card that was in scale. It was a regular playing card and it was in scale to the Batcave. I got the green T-Rex Lego. I mean, yeah, and I made a Jason memorial. I made a Jason Todd memorial out of a spare Robin. I also, out of a spare Batman, I made this. This is, come on, you got it. I'm gonna talk to my cameraman. Do I took her on the other side? There we go. Funny how that works. This is my, I free-made this. This is the Batman of Zurinar. And then I gave him a purple cape. This is, I use glue and glitter. Yeah. I use red glitter, yellow glitter. I put just some Scotch tape over the bat oval, and peeled it away when it was dry. Come on, don't be a schnook. Oh, whatever. Okay. But yeah, we got a good look at him. Yeah, so that's my Batman of Zurinar memorial. Yeah, so I put them on opposite sides of the nuclear generator. I went downstairs to my long boxes and I found my Batman of Zurinar because I thought it was such an interesting story beat. I loved it. Grant Morrison was one of my favorite writers anyway. When he took over Batman, leading up to Final Crisis, I was so tuned in. I was a weekly buyer then. That was the complete opposite of being on a lapse or being on a hiatus. Oh, that's a good cup of coffee. We've been talking about Batman. I love talking about Batman. Do you love talking about Batman? Well, continue the conversation in the comments section, why don't you? We've been talking about comic books, and we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. Tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, and we'll find out who we're talking about when we turn the page tomorrow. Like and subscribe, please. I would love to earn your subscription. I'm growing my little channel, and I make daily content the entire month of October. We're also doing a new daily, and it's about horror movies. So yeah, check your listings and put on the notifications. Tune in. We're talking horror movies all month long. The 31 days of Halloween. We would love for you to drop on by, like and subscribe, and leave comments as well. Cheers. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. And we will see you again tomorrow in those funny pages. Bye-bye.